Rich, thank you so much for coming to the podcast. Really appreciate it. So just give us a little bit of background about what you do at Product Gym, and we can get started.
Got it. So thank you so much for having me. My name is Reg. I'm one of the co-founders at Product Gym. And what we do here is we help first-time and experienced product managers land the product manager job of their dreams. And I would say one of the things that we could do very differently is we actually have a proven and systematic and data-driven approach to helping our members generate more than 10 to 22 interviews a week. And for them to secure anywhere between, I would say, 3 to 5 or more offers within 45 to 60 days. As I think one of the referrals that Vivek was nice enough to go ahead and refer us, she was able to go ahead and secure 3 offers within 47 days of her joining the program. And we are totally stoked about her. So anything that we can do for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. She got 2 more offers. So thank you. So 5 total offers. So that's amazing. And I'm really amazed with what you guys coached her. So let's just jump right into like, okay, what is the mindset? How do you get people so many interviews? So for example, if a student is thinking, like how do you coach somebody to go into the product space or tech space, especially if they don't come with a lot of background?
The first thing that people have to realize is, especially going for a product manager job or actually most jobs in tech, people make an assumption that they actually have to have the title, and that's actually not true. So about, I would say north of anywhere, depending on the company and location, anywhere between 75 to upwards of 95% of the people that apply for that job do not have the title. And the reason for that is everybody's always looking to go ahead and do something new. And companies are actually more interested in hiring somebody that doesn't have the title versus somebody that does have the title, because somebody that doesn't have the title is going to be 50 to 100 times hungrier than, let's just say, somebody that does, right? So whether you want to go ahead and be a scrum master, a business analyst, a project manager, or product manager is what we do here. Recognize this. You don't want to do another job that's already in your own domain any more than a product manager wants to get another product manager job. Most product managers are taking our other course, which is how to start your own consulting business or how to start your own business, because they don't want to be in product management anymore. So it's a first world problem, people feeling bored with their 6-figure job. But the truth is, like, you got to recognize that I would say the number one assumption that people get wrong is like, oh my gosh, like if I'm applying for like a business analyst role, I have to have business analyst titles. No, well, most business analysts actually want to be product managers. You know, most companies would like to hire a business analyst with a business analyst title, but most likely you're not going to get it.
Right, 100%.
Right.
So that you actually gave us some great mindset. So I think that should definitely help people. So let's just kind of shift into like your background. You come from being a recruiter, so you have firsthand, being in that hiring line, right? And you have this experience, and you obviously founded Product Gym, and it's a recruiter-founded company. So, which is the reason why you focus so much on placements. So, tell us about your world. How do recruiters think? Like, how do executive recruiters think who are competent? What's their life like? So that we can help paint the picture to candidates who are going to be talking to somebody like you.
Let's talk about a recruiter and why a recruiter is a recruiter, right? People get into recruiting in the tech world because they did not know what they wanted to do with their life. So I majored in history, and I remembered one of the booths at the career fair right before I graduated. I went to the career center and I said, I'm about to walk the stage in 3 months. Is there something that I should be doing? Because I'm not going to be going to school anymore, and I definitely don't have a job lined up. And they're like, what's your major? I said, history. It's like, so are you going to be a lawyer or professor? Well, there's only 2 problems with that. All my friends that were in law school say, don't be a lawyer. And all my professors said, don't be a professor. So I guess I'm going to have to figure out option number 3, right? So recruiting was there at the career fair. And unlike consulting and finance and all those other cool fields that usually entry level people enter in, recruiting says 0 experience required. Oh, that's me. I have 0 experience. So there's 2 ways that you can go about getting into this field. So one is external recruiting, which is you work at a staffing agency and you cold call companies all day asking them, do you want to pay us to help you find somebody that you're trying to hire on your own? Or you go into internal recruiting. The thing that you guys have to understand is this: whether you're an external recruiter or internal recruiter, you hate your life equally. because if you're in internal recruiting, right? So let's just say you have 100 roles to fill at Facebook. Whether you fill one or whether you fill 100, your compensation doesn't increase. So you're making about $75,000 to $95,000 a year. And it's kind of cool because you get to go work at Facebook or Airbnb. You have 51 different flavors of yogurt. And then you get to post up on LinkedIn, this is where you work. And then you take an Instagram photo before you walk into the office in the morning. But you know you absolutely want to stab your eyes out because there's no growth, because how are you incentivized? Recruiters internally they don't make commission. So how do they get incentivized? They get incentivized by saving the company money. So they usually have an internal hiring budget of $1 million. That's 10 people for $100,000. Of course, some people are going to make less. Some people are going to make more. Obviously, if you can rack up 5 offers, you're definitely not going to be making less money because you have options. Right. But what the company wanted these people to do is every company, just like how every one of these people want to work at Google or Facebook, every company dreams of being Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, and they're like, we want you as an internal recruiter to spend less money on hiring because we want to do what Steve Jobs and Elon Musk did, which is Elon Musk and Steve Jobs was able to get people to take a pay cut to work 2 to 3 times more. They're like, and we are going to be the next Tesla or Apple, right? But the truth is most of these companies are not going to be the next Tesla or Apple. So they're like, okay, so like we want you to sell these people harder on our mission. So if you save the company $300,000 a year in hiring, we're going to give you 10 to 15% of that money you saved as your bonus. So all of a sudden, that's an extra $30,000 to $45,000. You're no longer making $75,000 anywhere. You're making $105,000. So what are you going to do to protect that budget? You're going to not hire people. You're going to say, hey, I didn't find the next Elon Musk. So that's why I'm not passing any one of these jerks to you right now. And the company's going to say, yeah, we only want Elon Musk working here, right? So that's why, like recruiters, the reason why they're not getting back to you guys, even though you guys passed the interview, is the recruiter's going to ask these guys that are hiring, do you absolutely need this guy named Vivek? Can you absolutely not do this job? I was like, well, we think this girl Jane actually is a good fit for our company. Absolutely. I'm a big fan of Jane, but do we need Jane? Because I'm trying to be frugal here with the company's cash, and CEOs love hearing that, especially guys like me. I mean, I'm doing it right now. My recruiter's like, yeah, I don't think we really need that person. Right? So they're trying to not hire you. So the first thing that you really need to go ahead and find out from a recruiter is 92% of the jobs that are being taken in the market is because somebody just quit. And that's when you have a justification to hire somebody because you have to hire somebody. Okay? So when it's a brand new position, you want to know what's wrong with a brand new position. So I hosted a webinar last night, and they were like, I really want to work at Facebook. You can just stop watching this webinar and keep doing that, following that dream, because Facebook's most likely not going to hire you because most of Facebook's new roles, most of Facebook's roles are new roles. And because there's a new role, there's no clear expectation. It's kind of like buying your first house. Oh, it'd be nice if we had a jacuzzi. Oh, you know what? It'd actually be nice if we had a spare bedroom for his office because Vivek's always working all the time. And it'd be nice to have a yard. And it's like, okay, well, how are we going to fill that, right? So the only time roles actually get filled is when somebody quits. Yeah. There's no other time that roles are going to get filled. Sure. Which kind of brings us to the next part of the conversation, which is what's a day in the life like for a recruiter? The day in the life for a recruiter, especially if you're working for really good companies, is to go out there and absolutely butcher or massacre your interview in the shortest amount of time possible, because they only need a top 5. They have 35 positions that they're recruiting for at any given time. Right. And they can only talk to 5 to 8 people per week per role. Yeah. So every hiring team, every department head is going to say like, where's my associate product manager? Yeah. Yeah. This person's actually on the top of my list right now. I'm going to move that file on top. And then you're going to get a call and you say, hey, where's our growth strategist? You know what? That person's actually on the top of my list right now. It's literally, I'm looking at that folder as I'm talking to you. Right. Yes. So they can only send over 5 to 8 people. So, and they have no real incentive to go ahead and go through an entire pile of resumes. If I find 5 really good resumes, and I'm just going to send it through, And here's the best part about it is it doesn't even have to be good resumes. Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because hiring teams don't know what they want.
Yes.
Hiring teams every single day, they're like, yeah, this is what we want. This is exactly who we want. And then you bring that person to them. And then they're like, this is exactly who we asked for, but this is not what we want.
So, so Rich, like, so Rich, with all this, like, I'm going to bring it back to the candidates, right? Because we're trying to do this for candidates. So you kind of painted this picture, like this is the life of a recruiter. This is in the mindset of a competent recruiter, right? And we're going to add a little bit of the staffing recruiter, which is a little bit different,
right?
But so knowing that, like, how should a candidate think and approach and work with the recruiter as they're in the job search?
You don't. Let me give you, like, we're telling our people, you want to know why your girl that you referred over to us got 5 offers? We told her to apply to every product manager job out there. Because you don't know which person is urgent.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to every one of my salespeople here talks to at least 50 people a week. That's 10 people a day.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody says they want to be a product manager. What do you think our conversion rate is? It's not 50%. I mean, I wish half the people we talk to is going to pay up.
Right.
Exactly. People are going to be urgent whenever they want to be. And it's this when they wake up and they feel like it.
Yes.
So there's no way you can quantify that. And that makes candidates very uneasy because they say, well, it's uncomfortable for you because you're not in control of this process and you want to control it, right? It's like, yeah, good luck, you can't. So let me tell you, just like the person that you referred us over to, the one thing you can control is how many positions that you are applying to. That's the one thing you can control. The next thing that you can control is how your resume, your LinkedIn, and your cover letter looks. The last thing that you can actually control is how you interview. And how you interview should really come back to, I'll give you guys a few tips and tricks, the secrets that we show our people here at Product Gym. Number one, I always tell our people to ask, why is this position open? You cannot understand how you fit into this hiring process unless you understand why this position is open in the first place. So maybe because I'm a history major, I gave you guys the whole spiel about why people get into recruiting. But this is very important because you need to know your customer. Your number one customer is a recruiter, right? So you need to ask this recruiter person, why is this position open? Vivek, is it because somebody just left or is it because it's a brand new position? And if, and you could say it's a brand new position. And then the next follow-up question that I can already hear from your audience is, well, what if they lie? There's a chance for that too. So we got to account for that. We got to factor in that variable into the equation. Okay. So the next question I train people to ask is, what was it about my resume that stood out to you so much that prompted you to schedule a call with me? You see, if you're not urgent, you'll just talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And if it's clear that they haven't looked at your resume, because I told you they need to talk to 5 to 8 people per week. That's their weekly deliverable per role for 35 roles. So there is a chance, there's also a very good chance that you're just one of those lucky 5 resumes that they just say, I talked to 5 people. I'm sorry, none of them were good. Right. So you can ask them and say, hey, what was it about my resume stood out to you guys so much? Because if you're urgent, everybody that you talk to has to be at least have a chance. If you're not urgent, you're just kind of going through the motions, right? And they're like, I like the fact that you have an econ degree.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like you actually looked at my resume, Mr. or Mrs. Recruiter.
Yes.
Sounds like you're here trying to waste my time, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it was hilarious because we had a girl here that was a product manager at an investment bank. She got contacted by Spotify. And she said, oh my gosh, I'm going to take half a day off for this Spotify interview on a Friday morning. It's 9 a.m. The recruiter is out of the London office. And I was like, let me tell you what people are doing in London at 3. They just got back from lunch, getting blasted, and they're getting ready to go back and get blasted some more. And she's like, no, I mean, it's Spotify. They wouldn't do that. First thing he said was this. Yeah, so we're actually looking for a very senior person. Doesn't seem like you're a senior person for this role. And she's like, so why did you contact me? I didn't apply to Spotify. Why did you contact me? Did you set up a call today to tell me how unqualified I am to work for your organization? No, he needed to talk to one more person So he put his pint down, ran back to the office. I just got to reject this girl real quick. I'm going to be back out in about, give me an hour. Right?
Yes.
That's exactly what happened. Because people underestimate, I said, how professional do you expect people to act when they were hired based upon zero experience for a job? Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So let me give you guys the defense. You guys have to go out there and apply to every single, I don't care if you're trying to go for a BA job, a project manager job, program manager job, scrum master job. You have to apply to every single job that's out there in the market. And right now is the best time to do it. Go nationwide, because we are now hiring 100% remote, because companies are every single month, more and more companies are trending towards going 100% remote because they would love to not pay rent anymore. Okay, that's the only reason why they would do it. And the longer it seems like this COVID situation is going to last, that's where it's going to go. Now, what's your offensive plan? Your offensive plan is asking the questions that I just told you about. Hey, thank you so much for scheduling this call with me. For starters, I just like to know, is this a brand new position or did somebody just leave? And then let me ask a follow-up question to that. What was it about my resume stood out to you guys so much I prompted you guys to schedule a call with me? Now, some people actually ask me, say, Rich, but wouldn't that seem too aggressive? Actually, no. And I'll tell you why. First things first, recruiters suck at their job religiously because they're not being compensated a lot to do this. I mean, that's the only reason why I quit and started my own business. You know? But the other reason is this. When you're doing all the talking, they could be doing anything else but you. And if you guys were on the recruiting floor, you could see a bunch of recruiters. You have one guy playing Call of Duty, and you have another girl on Tinder. Well, people are telling these people their life stories.
Yeah.
So, you know, could I be on Tinder or playing Call of Duty right now while I'm answering your questions? Absolutely not. But if you were answering my questions right now, could I be doing that? Absolutely, I could be. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you need to keep them engaged on you, because a lot of times people, they get rejected just by default, meaning like, I don't even remember this person. So
yes,
I have nothing to say about this person. So I guess I'm just going to pop their resume in the shredder, right?
Yeah.
You need to keep them engaged at any cost possible.
Yep. That's great. And then I have one follow-up question on that. So, you know, like you actually already covered that a little bit, and then you can maybe take it to the second interview. So like if you're in the market, you don't have a lot of experience, you know, you said that recruiters, they're looking for a reason not to hire you or kind of give you the reason why you're not qualified, right? How do you handle that objection when you are going as a trained candidate with this mindset? You know, how do you speak up for yourself? How do you handle those objections that they give you?
It would depend. What would be the objection?
You don't have much experience. This role requires this kind of technology, which is BS. They just make it up. You know, they just saw that in the job description, and now they're just kind of stuck on that, and they're trying to kind of put it on candidates. How can candidates speak up?
Very little that they can actually do. It starts off with those 2 qualification questions and actually understanding the problem that they have. So most people don't have a big enough understanding about why this position is open. So when it comes down to hiring, I don't care if it's a product manager role, a sales role, or a marketing role. What people want is, can you make me a lot of money, but I don't have to train you? Now, the flip side of that conversation as a candidate is like, I would love to work for you, and I would really like it if you could train me. You see where the lack of engagement is like, you're looking for a job and a mentor. They're looking for a self-starter, and they don't even want to deal with you. So, but at the same time, they got to like you, right? So in terms of like, you know, you don't have enough experience. Okay, so why'd you schedule the call with me? This is when you didn't gather enough information, because there was a problem that happened at the office, and they decided nobody in this company either wants to solve it or can solve it. So let's take a look at a job like, you know, like a event coordinator or webinar coordinator for us. That's a solvable job. Just nobody else has the time to do it here. So we're going to hire somebody to do it. But let's just say we hire somebody just for our European location in the UK that sells all of our European memberships. They have to really understand the European product market to be able to communicate with my co-founder and I why they're going to do the things that they're doing. That's more of a critical thinking role, right?
Yeah.
I would say that the world of either product, project, business analysts, or scrum masters, I would say that it falls kind of like in the middle of those two things.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're doing that, you have to ask, what's the problem you guys are trying to solve?
Yeah.
And you have to really understand, and you have to focus on the problem. The interviewer is going to focus on why you're unqualified. You have to focus on the problem. So it's just like a brand new business, and you are really selling a product. You're selling yourself, your brand.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When I first started selling Product Gym, and we didn't have a whole lot to go with, the one way I was able to counter any objection that people had about going to another organization that was around longer than us was I spent that entire conversation talking about their problem. Because whether you decide to go with me or not, when you walk out that door in less than an hour, you're still going to have that problem. Either you feel like I'm going to be part of your solution or not. But either way, at least for the next 24 hours, this problem is big enough for you to come talk to me. So it's going to keep bugging you. So what is that problem? And I just don't see people doing that enough on a job interview.
100%.
People are so focused on getting what they want that they completely forget that this is all about giving the other people what they need in this situation. So that's not great, right?
Right.
Like you got to make it all about them. Most people, when I was a recruiter and I recruited for hot companies as a part of an agency for like Airbnb and Venmo, most people would tell me, "Can you put me in front of these people?" And I did. And you know what their freaking game plan was? I'm a hard worker and a fast learner. Wow. So you need a job.
Yes.
So you want me to pay you so you can put food in your mouth and a roof over your head so you won't be cold, hungry, and dead. That's basically the conversation. I should take money out of my own pocket so you won't die next Friday. Is that what we're talking about? No, I don't want to give you money so you won't die next Friday, because no offense. I mean, I hope you don't die, but I don't really care if you die next Friday. You know, I want to know, if I spent $1 on you, how are you going to get me $10 back?
Yes.
Right. That's the conversation,
100%.
right? So I think things that people can just do, we work a lot on our interpersonal skills. So the person that you referred over to us is 22. The offer she got, she makes more money than some 30-year-olds that I know. It's north of her offer right now. It's north of 140, $140,000. She's a year out of school. I feel like we could even do better than that, but it's not experience that she's competing with. It's more of the vibe that she's putting off, right? Biggest thing is she's actually interested in the problems that people are trying to solve.
100%.
So I feel like a lot of people that are actually on these interviews, they are so uninterested in why the company is. They have no idea what the company actually does. Right. And they have no idea why they are doing what they're doing. They're just like, I just need a job. And I get it.
Yes.
I get it. When I started this business, I needed cash too.
Yes.
Thank God I'm not in that position anymore. But, even no matter how bad you need it, you still have to make it all about the customer. And this is why I would say that people that do very well in my program that have a sales background, or people that have an investment banking background where they have to do a lot of selling, they actually do very well, because they understand this. It's like, what's your problem? How can I come and solve that problem? Because that's keeping you up at night. That's a pain point. I'm going to try to alleviate some of that pain from you. And then you're going to pay me for it.
100%. Yeah. And
so,
that's a great mindset. And you built it up, you do that by, just really caring in the beginning, like you're asking those two questions, and then you keep staying you make it about the recruiter or the company. You do the enough research. So you're deflecting that not having an experience to like, okay, let me solve the problem. I'm the most hungriest, most growth-minded individual who can solve this problem. And you're also sending that vibe that, hey, I have other offers. Like if you're not serious, I have other things too. So that's the dynamic that you're recommending. So thank you, Rich. And we are actually coming at the end of our time here. It was a great conversation. I definitely want to do a part 2 of this, but I really appreciate you doing this for us.
Anytime, man. My last advice for people is just stay interested and stay humble. There's actually a guy that works for another guy that I know, and I've been even though I'm friends with this boss, I've been trying to hire and steal this guy from him for
Yes.
like years. And the reason for that is his interview game was just so on point. He interviewed for a sales position with him, and he was so interested. Genuinely, I could see that he was interested in what the company was trying to do. And he comes in, he's not really faking it. He kind of comes in for that with that mindset every single day of like, wow, we're doing some really exciting stuff. I'm just really happy to be here. And like feeling really privileged to be part of that mission. You guys that are really struggling for the job right now, I think one of the reasons why you guys are kind of having, if you guys are watching this, you guys are getting maybe a lot of rejections or having a lot of bad days from this, is like you're carrying a lot of like, don't underestimate this. You guys might think it's BS, but a lot of that negative energy, because you're just like, I just need a job. I'm so over this. I really hate this process. Could be worse. If you go in there and just enthusiasm can get a 22-year-old girl to go out there and take job offers away from 30-year-old people that actually done the job 8 more years than she has.
Yes.
So never
100%.
underestimate that. But I'm happy to do this. If you feel like it adds value to your audience, let me know.
Yeah.
I'll be glad to do this again next month, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rich. I really appreciate this.
Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. We'll be sure to come back with more exciting videos on Agile topics.